Mhm.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Big Apple Baseball Banter. This is Elias, and I am joined with Mets Talk with Hayden for our first collab. It's not Brewers Talk with Hayden. If you see the hat, just if you check the wall, you could probably guess. Mets Talk with Hayden. Hayden, why don't you introduce yourself, man?
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Mets Talk with Hayden J. I am also a new YouTube channel. I started uploading videos about a month and a half ago, and I'm here
Shit,
to
you
talk
beat
to.
us in subscribers. We've been at this for like I think 3 or 4 months now. So congrats to you, man. But anyways, guys, today we're basically doing two videos. We're gonna do the best moves by Brodie Van Wagenen, which there aren't many on this channel, and then on Mets Talk with Hayden's channel, we're doing worst moves by Brodie Van Wagenen, which that's the good video because there's a lot of bad moves. So let's get started with the Jacob DeGrom extension. So I'll always be grateful to Brodie Van Wagenen for this, especially getting him in a 5-year, $137 million contract or $137.5 million contract, coming off of one of the best pitching seasons pretty much in baseball history. To get him at this kind of bargain was crazy. And the weirdest part is that he went from his agent to the GM. So his job usually was to get him as much money as possible. So to get him at this kind of bargain, I think DeGrom took a hometown discount because for some reason he wanted to be a Met, especially back then when they were terrible. But coming off of a year with like 4 wins and a 1.7 ERA, but this move is just phenomenal. What are your thoughts, man?
No, listen, it was a 5-year deal, I believe, right?
Yep,
5-year extension.
5-year, 137.5 with a 2022 opt out.
Correct. And I mean, I think as Mets fans, this is hard not to, go against. Of course, DeGrom is, if not one of the best pitchers out there. He may even be up there in Mets history, slightly lacking behind Tom Seaver. But, this honestly was a great extension by Brodie Van Wagenen. It was 2019. That was him coming off of 2 Cy Young, solid. And I know there were some talks around this time about trading DeGrom and Syndergaard. I know they
To the
had some
Yankees. People
him
thought
as
they should trade him to the
Yankee.
Yankees. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, honestly, I never fell for that. I was like, nah, our team can have some corrupt officials, but they're not that stupid to get rid of anyone. But
Yeah, it's
no,
probably Andy
this
Martino was reporting that or something. Some bozo from who knows nothing.
that's why, but I think this was a great extension, and I think, it was really enough. What else can you say?
Let's hope he doesn't opt out in 2022. But I don't think he will because his
Extended.
age, I guess. But yeah, you'll extend it again. Coming in at number 2 is the call up of Pete Alonso. So I don't even know if this is a move for Brodie, but I'm guessing it is. I'm pretty sure the GM is the one who's in charge of who makes the roster, who doesn't. So Pete
Correct.
Alonso, obviously rookie year, 53 home runs, beat the Aaron Judge record. Oh, but the balls were juiced. I hear that all the time, arguing with annoying Yankee fans. One of the best rookie seasons for like a first baseman, for a hitter in general. Cooled down a bit this year, but people are overreacting, acting like he was, Juan Lagares last year. Like, let's calm down. He had an above 800 OPS. He struggled. It looked like kind of mentally struggles, but I still think he had a solid year, and he's my MVP. Well, I don't think he's actually my MVP pick this year. That's kind of a thing. If you guys watch your channel, I'm always like, yeah, Pete Alonso MVP. Well, maybe it will be my, it's kind of tough for first basemen to win MVP, but hey, two just won it. But yeah, calling up Pete Alonso is just like it was kind of brought a whole new energy to the team. You know what I'm saying? Like before that, it was just a bunch of old guys, and Pete Alonso kind of led the movement for all these, new players. What are your thoughts?
No, honestly, Pete Alonso is probably one of my favorite players on the Mets. We looked at him in 2019. I was stunned. Him hitting home runs after home run to, him ripping off jerseys after walk-offs. He just brought that exciting feeling to the Mets that, prior to 2019, 2017, 2018, we were finishing under 500. The team didn't really have many key star players, but I think Alonso just brought that high morale up that, us Mets fans, haven't really seen in quite a while. So, I think the combination of having like Alonso, McNeil, and these younger guys being brought up just, was such great, just emotions, Polar Bear having a nickname like that, just
Yeah.
hitting bombs, saying LFGM. It's just Alonso. I mean, how can you not complain? 2019, that was a monster season. Yes, 2020, he did step back, but it's not even a season. 60 games. Pete Alonso in 2019, I'm sure struggles for 60 games, but look at Christian Yelich. Are we going to go around saying he's going to collapse?
Right. Yeah.
No, I mean,
like
this
for
was
me about with Alonso, he's probably my favorite player on the team, not only because of his production on the field. Like to me, he's not my favorite type of player. Is more like a McNeil type player, more like a contact hitter who also hits for power. Because I hate watching guys strike out. But with Alonso, what I love about him is him off the field and kind of in the dugout, in the clubhouse. Like
right, he just brings that great
he
morale.
brought a new energy and a new swagger to the Mets that we were needing after a season with guys like Jose Bautista and Asdrubal Cabrera and Adrian Gonzalez, like getting everyday starting time. Like he just brought a new energy to the Mets. So thank you to
Absolutely.
Brodie, I guess, for calling him up. Even if that was your say, I don't even know if it was
No,
on him, but
typically it's usually the GM and the manager, and I'm sure a lot of the clubhouse affiliates, maybe the owner. I mean, what else do the Wilpons do? But I mean, I'm sure definitely Brodie. I mean, he had a say in it. Let's be realistic. Typically,
Definitely.
the roster, the spring training roster. And I was pretty excited when he was announced that he would be called up. That he made that once he made the spring training roster, that he would make the opening day roster, which was great. I remember him playing spring training in 2018. And him at first base, I believe he was what was he, 74 was his number, I believe. I have his
some rookie
part
number.
of that.
Yeah.
That in good keepings. But honestly, Pete Alonso, I mean, how can you not complain? I think that was definitely a great move to be called up, and I hope we get to see that still.
Coming at number 3, and by the way, these aren't really in any particular order. That's not really a ranking, it's just 6 best moves. We got JD Davis, the acquisition from the trade from Houston. So the trade was JD Davis and shortstop Cody Bonheck for shortstop Luis Santana and outfielder Ross Aldof. Sorry, this pronunciation is terrible. And catcher Scott Manaea. Not Sean Manaea's on the A's. But JD Davis, you didn't have much expectations for him at first. He was just supposed to be kind of a backup third base bench guy, but he got the playing time and really took advantage of it. He had that monster game against Patrick Corbin in the Nationals. He hit 2 home runs. He said after that game that's the game where he really felt in with the team.
Yeah.
And he was the other guy who kind of brought that new young nucleus, young energy to the team. Obviously, the walk-off off Brad Hand was tremendous. Hopefully, we see multiple of those this year with him in the division. We'll see, man. Brad Hand going to the Nationals. Maybe it's not a bad thing after all. And JD Davis, there's some question whether he's a long-term third baseman. His defense isn't great. I think it's better at third than it is at left. His defense improved from this year to the year before. He really struggled bobbling the ball in 2019. This year kind of cleaned that up a bit, technique-wise. But it's just for trading nothing, and it was such a low risk, high reward, I guess. Like he was his former second round pick for a reason. So the acquisition of him was a great move, and I think he'll be here for a little. JD Davis, just super solid move. Can play left and third, not very well, but anyways.
Bringing trading JD Davis to the Mets was a great move. I think I don't recall remembering much of it. Probably because I thought he would have been more of a, like you said, a backup person on the bench, which wasn't too, concerning. But no, honestly, he like Pete, he brought that high morale, and that young talent. And honestly, he broke out in 2019. Honestly, he was with the Astros, I believe. And he wasn't really known, but with the Mets,
especially when he knew what was coming too.
He did, but I don't think did he even play a game with the Astros in the World Series?
He played like very minor, like what we thought his role in the Mets was going to be, like backup, because you got Bregman, you got
Of course, but no, I mean I think the Mets definitely want to keep his bat in the lineup coming forward. I know the whole DH thing, where he plays. Listen, I think, he had that one great behind the basket catch in left field against the Indians, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was against the Indians. And the thing about it, like, it was a great play, but he still looked lost out there. Like, you could tell, like, it's not a good play. It's a lucky play. Like, it was just like.
Yeah, definitely. He is not an outfielder. He's more of a third baseman. We saw him at third base this year, and he was pretty at the scratch, pretty adequate. But there's questions. Is he the long-term third baseman? The fact that the Mets didn't really get involved with Arenado, could that be a suggestion? Sure.
There was a report that came out about that. Yeah, because the report was because they didn't want to take on Cano's contract, they weren't interested in him. But if Arenado was the third baseman, obviously you're taking him over JD Davis any day of the week. Not just offensively, but defensively, they're universes apart. But for getting, like I said, for the little amount that we gave up for him and just how minor of a move it was, it turned out as a great move. So yeah.
No, yeah, and honestly, I hope the 2021 campaign can be better for him, and I think that'll prove that 2019 it wasn't a fluke. So, we'll just have to wait and see. I think this was a great signing. Great signing, I will agree.
Yeah, and for how good the Mets lineup right now is, JD Davis is either the 7 or 8 hitter with the pitcher hitting, obviously, which is crazy. So you don't even need to rely on him for being like the greatest hitter in the world, which he said also that not having Chili Davis on site last year, the hitting coach, really hurt him. But hopefully, yeah, if we see him go back to that 2019 form with improved defense, I think he'll be here for a long time. Coming up next, we have the draft picks of Matthew Allen and JT Ginn. So you're probably thinking, oh, well, how are they such great draft picks? You haven't even seen them play or anything. Well, the thing with the MLB draft is the stupidest thing ever. It's like you have to pick players based on how much value you're going to sign them for, and they can say no. It's stupid. Me and Ben have done an episode on this on a podcast a while ago, talking about how dumb it is that you can't pick a player here because, if he might go to college or he might not sign. Stupidest thing ever. But that's besides the point. They picked 2 guys who seemed like they were going to be worth, they were going to go in the first round. They should go in the first round, but dropped because of for Ginn, I think it was because of injuries, and then Allen because. So what I saw was, Matthew Allen, he was picked 89th overall, but he was supposed to go. He was the 13th overall player, but people thought that his asking price was like a $4 million signing bonus. So if he wasn't getting that, he's going to go to Florida, University of Florida Gators. But the Mets, I guess, wowed him with an offer in the 3rd round. And then JT Ginn, he was a first-round talent, but he got Tommy John, I believe, and he came out of Mississippi State. I'm not a big MLB draft head because there's not really many resources to get into high school baseball or perfect inning, whatever it's called, college baseball. It's kind of hard to follow that because it's very just unavailable. But especially Matt Allen, having him, he's one of our top 5 picks right now, or prospects, and getting him in the 3rd round, I think was tremendous. And being able to sign him was great.
Oh no, definitely, I agree. And I think it's something that we look at that Brodie Van Wagenen, he had 2 back-to-back strong obtainments in the draft. With Sandy Alderson was involved then, but no, JT Ginn and Matthew Allen, yeah. Of course.
Coming up next, we have the signing of left-hand pitcher reliever Justin Wilson. So it was a 2-year, $10 million contract. He was coming off of a decent year with the Cubs. It seemed like he was kind of going to be like that Jerry Blevins role, lefty specialist guy. But he pitched really well in 2019. He had a 2.54 ERA. He pitched really well at the beginning of the year, got hurt a bit, and came back and pitched really strong. This year, not as great, 3.66. It seemed like at the beginning of the year he was being overused a lot. Like they were relied on him a little much. But hopefully, with us strengthening this bullpen a bit, he won't. Hopefully we can bring him back too. He's a free agent right now. I think we will bring him back now that Brad Hand has gone to the Nationals. Justin Wilson, just a low risk, high reward signing, super solid. 2 years, $10 million, $5 million a year for a quality left-hand reliever it's a solid move.
I know in 2019 he had a 2.54 ERA.
2.54 ERA, yeah.
That was, honestly, that 2019 season was pretty good for him. And like I always express with the bullpen, lefties are good in the bullpen because, you want to mix it up a bit, especially, you don't want to have the component or the batter have more an advantage because you have all righty pitchers. So, and I think, we got rid of Chase and Shreve. We non-tendered him. We missed out on Brad Hand.
All about. So, he was good last year, man.
I like
Chase and Shreve.
I'm definitely surprised that they non-tendered him, but whatever. But I think, Justin Wilson, I think, was a great move. I don't think he's going to re-sign with the Mets. But, like I say, lefties, they're pretty good in the bullpen. And I think, especially now the Mets, lineup is more left-handed hitters, and a lot of them are righties with the glove, but a lot of them are hitting lefty now.
Right.
McNeil, Dom
McNeil,
Smith,
Dom Smith, Nimmo,
and
Conforto,
they're all
obviously. And who else? Lindor's a switch hitter.
Porto,
Yeah, Conforto, I said,
but
yeah.
they're all field. But no, honestly, yeah, it was a great signing though with Justin Wilson.
Yeah, just it's a boring signing, but it worked out and it was solid. And the last one here is as boring as it gets, but it's Brodie Van Wagenen we're talking about. So good moves by him are hard to come by. So Luis Avilan was a signing, a minor league deal, and the fact that he made a impact in the majors was a good thing, I guess. So he had a 5.06 ERA, which isn't great, but he had a 2.3 ERA against lefties. He was really good against lefties, and that was kind of his role. You didn't really need him to be, back then we didn't have a 3 batter minimum rule, so he was kind of brought in to get the big lefty out, and most times out of not, he did that, and he did a good job. But it's Brodie Van Wagenen. It's hard to find good moves, so we have to include boring moves like this. But do you have any thoughts about Luis Avilan? Because I don't think there's anything else to say.
I mean, yeah, there's not really that much to say about him. I mean, he was talked about. He could fit in as the left-hander. I mean, yeah, there wasn't really too much to say about him, honestly.
Anyways, guys, that was the best moves by Brodie Van Wagenen. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see the worst moves, which is going to be the better video because there's way more to talk about, that's going to be on Mets Talk with Hayden's channel. So we'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tune into our live streams every Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern. Call in, comment, do all that stuff. Check us out on Instagram, big.apple.baseball.banner, and we will see you guys next time.